Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, July 9th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing still. That is because the market is still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we are looking at PROK. Very, very crazy mover today, so I think it's pretty safe on my part to assume a lot of people will be watching about it and caring about it on Wednesday. So let's map out some of the key dynamics here. But overall, the main ingredients are all here for us as traders. The first ingredient is you want to see something that's getting price movement, and that is very clearly in play. And second, you want to see something with good quality volume, and when you look down here at the volume, you can see that a whole lot of volume on this one. So those two kind of just backbone things are well in place, and now it's just a question of can this continue create some good upside pressure here moving forward. So let's map out the first key areas of support, and let's change that to green for support. So if there is any sort of pullback, one interesting level right there at about $3.45, and then from a bigger pullback standpoint, next area down there right around potentially $2.50. You may be thinking, well, that's a pretty big space. $2 or $3.50 down to $2.50. A dollar move on a stock down below $5. That's a big percentage, and you're absolutely right. But that is just showing the volatility of today's price movement, of how right there, just by no means a crash or anything like that. But that still does represent an entire dollar move in the downwards direction. So yes, if you like volatile stocks, this would definitely be a situation for you. And then in terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just ask the basic question, where did the party essentially stop today? And the party stopped up there right around $4.85, so keep an eye on that. But again, circling back, the main ingredients are there. You have great volume, you have great price movement, and if you like this price range down below $5, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, WOLF, and this is a tricky chart to talk about because it's all about perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you are a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought up here and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart's looking very rough for you. But if you do care about the bigger picture standpoint, then sure, to be fair, there was a bigger pullback from these highs. But again, to be fair, from the grand scheme of it all viewpoint, when you start to look at where these lows are at, so if we look at the lows right here, and then you look at lows right there, and then you consider that low right there, and then these lows down here, you get the idea. And if then you envision those as stair-steps, what do you have? Again, emphasis here on overall. Well, from the overall standpoint, what you have here is stair-steps still very clearly progressing in the upwards direction. And assuming you care about, again, the overall viewpoint, that's what it's all about. Unfortunately, prices cannot go straight up. There are going to be pullbacks and consolidations along the way. But as long as those pullbacks, as long as those consolidations are occurring at higher areas, then that is definitely the key dynamic here that's going to matter most in terms of just making sure that the overall chart is still healthy. So again, I'm aware and realize that if you are a scalper, day trader that bought right there, you don't really care about any of these stair steps or anything like that. But that's why I'm trying to distinguish between the fact that, yes, from the big picture standpoint, even with the pullback today, even with the gap and trap today, the overall trend is still in the bull's favor. Next one here, we're looking at BTCS. A very nice pattern here, and it's a pattern that pops up quite a bit on these top 10s, but it is a great pattern, and it's one that's always worth, in my opinion, at least keeping an eye on. So let's just get this mapped out. So top part of the pattern right there of resistance. Next part of the pattern down here, we have this consolidation area. So let me change that again to green for support. And then just to make sure that everybody can see the pattern, let's keep it all one color. So we have our area of resistance, we have our area of support, and then you have the big upwards move right there. And then if for you golfers out there, I'll try to make a little more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. And let me be very clear, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to come up here and break to the upside. But my point is it at least a valid question? Is it a plausible question to throw out there that, hey, maybe just maybe if the price breaks up through the top part of that pattern, that could generate another round of buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible scenario. So if you like bull pennant patterns, you like this price range, certainly keep an eye on it. Next in here, taking a look at SOXS, pretty popular ETF out there, and we have some, at least in my opinion, some interesting dynamics here going on from the charting standpoint. So let's get this lower trend line in play here. So I'm curious about that level moving forward. If the price does come back down, could that be an area where if the price comes down here, do you get some sort of bounce off it? Again, no guarantees, but in my mind, An interesting question to throw out there as, at least a possible scenario right there. And then in terms of areas of resistance, I think it's a pretty well-defined one. And I make that comment about being well-defined because when you have a lot of people watching the same level and wondering the same thing, caught a self-fulfilling prophecy, call whatever you want, it can produce very dynamic movements. And I think a lot of people are watching there right around $7.45. Again, you can see right there, rejected the price, rejected the price, rejected the price. So that's by no means some sort of great discovery, secret talent on my part. Like I said, the exact opposite. I think a lot of people are watching that. So if the price can't come up here and break up through there, does that guarantee anything? It doesn't, but certainly more than plausible to throw out the question, hey, can a break of 745 generate more upside buying pressure? Certainly worth keeping an eye on if you like these sorts of setups. Next one here, BBAI, and once again, I'm going to go through this a little quicker so I can respect your time, but I am going to sound a little bit like a broken record. Very tricky chart to talk about because it's all about your perspective. Day traders, flippers, scalpers, if you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 seconds, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart is an absolute train wreck. Now, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, everything is still perfectly fine. There's many ways you could look at this. If you just want to use that purple line right there, which I've talked about time and time again in past top 10 videos, where that is a 50-period moving average, and as long as the price stays above it, then overall the trend is just fine. And as I speak right now, you can see the price is sitting right atop that level, and that's the key dynamic. Now, had the price come down here and it just crashed down through the purple line, okay, that's a much different scenario at that point. But as of right now, the price is doing a good job of just hovering right there. So as long as the price continues to stay above that purple line, then as far as I'm concerned, the overall trend is plenty bullish. Or if you just want to look at it from the low standpoint, so if these are lows and then these are lows and then these are lows, I mean, you've already heard me talk about the stair step, so you get the idea right there. So again, from the big picture standpoint, I still would argue that everything is just fine for the bulls. In terms of areas of resistance, if there is any, try to curl back upwards. Key level to watch, in my opinion, right there around $8.25. And then after that, yeah, it does make a little bit more sense and maybe start to then focus on some of these areas up here as resistance. But in my opinion, at least, primary hurdle number one is right there at 825. So again, assuming you care about the grand scheme of it all, big picture perspective, the chart is still bullish. Real quick, want to take a break and just introduce you to something in case you are not aware, specifically for those of you that are maybe suffering under the pattern day trading rule. It's very annoying. It's constricting your strategies. It's not allowing you to trade the way that you want. So if you are suffering under that, if you go to this, claytrader.com/take profit, there's no pattern day trading rule, and you can also trade for 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, and get $50K in buying power for only $102. So I don't want to go in more of a deep dive. If you are interested, if I've piqued your interest, if it sounds like this could be a solution to some of the challenges you're facing as a trader right now, then again, check out the link, claytrader.com/take profit. I'll also put it down in the description area below, and then make sure to use code CLAY at the checkout so you can take advantage of the promotions. Next one we're looking at here, NVDA, nice recovery from yesterday's movement, where same general idea, talks about how the price had made a move and then it pulled back. So yeah, if you were somebody that had bought right there and then, this right there, not so good, but now all of a sudden the price is starting to, return back upwards. So we'll see if NVIDIA can get up to those highs or not, but that's going to be the first kind of general dynamic to watch. Once again, is that purple line, which I know I've talked about previously, which you hopefully remember is a 50-period moving average. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price is above there, then as far as I'm concerned, the bulls are doing just fine. And then in terms of, the key battlegrounds here, in regards to areas of resistance, I would say that, right now the main level that stands out, again, at least in my eyes, right there at the $160 mark. If you go back here and kind of just look at things, 160 was a problem area right there, and then just a whole bunch of times today, price getting right around that 160 area. So keep an eye on that. And again, no guarantees, but a high volume break of 160, I think there's a great chance the price at least revisits those highs, if not goes even higher. But overall, good solid day here for NVIDIA. Next one here, OPEN, open, and we have once again our friend the bull pennant pattern. So as I mentioned, I don't want to be a broken record, and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So let's just go through this a little quicker. So there's our resistance. Here's our area of support. And then just to make sure that everybody can see the pattern, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our support. We have the nice upwards move right here. We have the golf hole down here. So here is a bull pennant. I'd say the biggest difference here is this one just happens to be a penny stock. So if you prefer to stay with penny stocks, you like bull pennant patterns, here you go. Next one here, SOUN. And once again, going to go through this quickly. Maybe you already see the pattern, but yeah, we are staring dead in the face of another bull pennant pattern. So there's our area of resistance. Get that to green. There's our area of support. And then let's just map it out real quick. Resistance, support, big explosive move this morning. And then get the golf hole down here, and we are looking at, once again, another bull pennant pattern. So if you are somebody that likes bull pennants, you have quite the variety to choose from here headed into Wednesday. Next one here, BTBT, and talked about this bull pennant in yesterday's video, and you can see the power of the bull pennant. Got the nice break and pulled back, and you know what? You know what it formed? Another bull pennant. But that is perfectly fine. That is a good thing. When there's one bull pennant forming after another bull pennant, that means the trend is healthy. That means the trend is working its way in the upwards direction. So let's map out the key area of resistance on the bull pennant. Now this one will look a little different, but the same general idea is true. So $4, top of the pattern here, and then bottom of the pattern right there. So I'm definitely want to draw out this just so you can kind of see what I'm getting at here, because I know this one isn't necessarily as clear as the other one. So we have our area of resistance. We have that right there, and then we have the upwards move right there, and then have our golf hole down here. So is this the cleanest bull pennant? No, probably not the cleanest, but it is still a bull pennant, and most importantly, just from a trend building standpoint, the price once again put in a higher high, put in a higher low, and again, from a trend building standpoint, that's what it's all about, higher highs and higher lows. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. Talked about this one in yesterday's video and how the price had basically gotten trapped inside of this downwards channel. Good news is, assuming you're bullish, broke to the upside of the channel. Bad news is, came up here to that purple line, which you now know is that 50-period moving average, and just could not gain any more momentum. It just was like every time the price got anywhere close to that, the momentum just disappeared. So that's not to say that the price can never break above that purple line, but it is to say that's certainly going to be the key battleground now to watch moving forward. From a resistance standpoint, again, all about that 50-period moving average. Now, the good news here is that the price is still, even with the pullback here, it is still maintaining up above the channel. And this is where we, basic rule in charting, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support, especially here. This is very, very important. And I'm not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake, if the price comes back down below this 295, let's just call it 50 area, what is that doing to the price? That's putting the price right back inside of this range that I talked about at the start. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves, then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power or true strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with 295.60. I'm just explaining why that is a very important level and why, as of right now, it's a good sign to see that that level right there is holding up above the 295.50 mark. So yes, a good overall day because the price did break out of the channel. Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment here the way it rolled back over, but to be fair, at least it's still outside of the channel, and you definitely want to see it continue to stay outside the channel. You don't want to see the price fall back inside of it in the near future. And once again, before I go, like I said, if the pattern day trend rule is annoying, is presenting challenges to you because you cannot have unlimited day trades, well, this is a way that where you can get unlimited day trades. You can make as many trades as you want every single day. Go to that link that you see right there. Again, I'll put it down below. Make sure you use code CLAY at checkout, and you can get 50K in buying power for just $102. Have trading around the clock. And again, to hammer that home, pattern day trading rule, there is none. You don't have to worry about that hassle like I know many of you probably are worrying about. So if you're interested, like I said, check out the link or just go in the description box and you can learn more.